All right, everyone. This is Jordan AJ from Warhammer Enjoyers, and today I am presenting AJ a dish that I've cooked up just for him, Lord Discordant soup. With the recent data slate changes, Lord Discordant looks pretty good, and when we were talking about it, I wanted to make a list, and this is my list. With that being said, this soup is created to cure the plagues of the 14th. My Death Guard have been whipping AJ's Chaos Space Marines ass. But just one thing to note, we're going to talk a lot about references to like T6 and T7, and there's a lot of things in 40k that are a lot weaker than that and a lot stronger. But mainly anything that like this list is going to hit on like threes and fours with realistically against like normal Space Marines and like CSM, it's going to be like threes and twos. So a good soup needs a base, and the base for this is the Debt to the Soul Forge, or like that whatever detachment gives this. And the big kicker of it is when you do your dark packs for your heretic Astartes demons, each time like they successfully make the dark pact, they get a +1 to the wound roll for range attacks and add 2 to the attack characteristics of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. And this is where the soup is, because we got the base, and now we need some aromatics, things that are going to bring flavor. And like any good soup, aromatics are subjective. This list is made for AJ. AJ wanted to bring what's that tank called again?
The Kratos battle
He
tank.
wanted to
It
bring a
is a heresy
he
like
wanted
tank
he wanted
that
to
I
bring the
wanted to bring.
he wanted to bring the Kratos, so the list is tailored for this. AJ has 2 Venom Crawlers, which are also in this list, but the main backbone of this is going to be Forge Fiends, Mauler Fiends, and Venom Crawlers, because these are all demon engines that benefit from the army rule, and they all have a 5-up invul save, and there's like these are, well, the 5-up invul save is like a bonus for this, but these are like the main 3 units that this list is built around for you chefs at home that want to whip this up. A fun thing for the Venom Crawler is for every unit that it destroys, it adds 1 to the attack characteristics, so you can go with that. But for the kind of like, how many Forge Fiends, how many Mauler Fiends to maul or to forge, the weapon profiles on these are, one's obviously like a shooty one, one's obviously like a melee focused one. Both have like their pros and cons. There's also like points differences for these, and like I said, a good cook, whips it up on the spot. The main ingredients of this list, which we'll get together, kind of really pull this together. But you could tailor this list for if you want 3 Venom Crawlers, 3 Mauler Fiends, 3 Forge Fiends, or like any combination of it. Be a good cook, experiment. This list is like super flexible. Um, but the main ingredients for this list is going to be Vashtorr, 2 Lord Discordants, and then 2 Warpsmiths. You could even bring 3 if you want, and we'll talk about why, in a little bit. For the first part with Vashtorr, we're going to look sort of at the Unholy Mechanisms aura, which demon vehicles within 6 inches of this model, not wholly, just within, they add 2 to the strength characteristics of those weapons equipped. This model also gets low op, so you're just going to kind of like skirt this up the board with your Venom Crawlers, with your Mauler Fiends, or your Forge Fiends. So that's like one component. That's the big one. Adding 2 to the strength characteristics of all weapons equipped by that model makes the plasma cannons that the Forge Fiend have pretty fucking nasty. The next component of this list is going to be Lord Discordant on a Hellstalker. Essentially, it's throwing mortals out, but in your shooting phase with Spirit phase, you get to reroll wound rolls of 1 for units that like target vehicles. So you're gonna have 2 of these. You're gonna have like a blob with a Mauler Fiend or a Venom Crawler or Vashtorr, and you're picking targets, vehicles specifically, to basically just get fucking nuked. um, for this specific list, we'll talk about that later. Next, we have the Warpsmith. One of these are going to be, well, I guess we'll go back here. One of these bad boys is going to be run with Forge's Blessing, and one of the Warpsmiths are going to be run with Invigorated Mecha Drills, but we'll talk about that later. This one is pretty self-explanatory. This one is healing vehicles, and you're adding 1 to the hit rolls for that vehicle that you heal. The caveat with this one, though, is one vehicle can be selected by 1 Warpsmith per turn, so you can't like mass heal stuff, and you can't stack the plus hits, but like that's a core rule. So if you want to bring 2 or 3 with these, it's fine, because these, like Vashtorr and the Lord Discordant, all have low op. So Seasonings. That's an important component of every soup. because the majority of this list, with the Forge Fiends, Mauler Fiends, the Spiders, Vashtorr, Lord Discordant, and the Warpsmith, we're sitting at like 150 points. So for that last 500, you can really set it to be whatever you want to be. For this seasoning from my spoop, specifically for AJ, he enjoys Night Lords. He likes his Raptors. He has Cultists, and I picked these because it's roughly. I can't do quick math, but you need battle line for scoring, and having deep strike is good. Obviously, those Raptors would have special weapons. But the seasonings for that last little bit of points, you can pick whatever you want. This list is really flexible. It's just that those demon engines basically have to stay consistent. Um, the Lord Discordant, for the Forge's Blessing, gives a demon a friendly heretic Astartes vehicle within 12 inches of it, a Feel No Pain. I think this is kind of fun because some vehicles are a little flimsy. I don't know, now reading this, I'm going to full send. These go on the demon engines for sure. Pretty sure. Giving them a Feel No Pain is really nice, but even for the main battle tank, having a Feel No Pain with that, because like Meltas are AP -4, is really nice. And one of the Warpsmiths have invigorated mecha drills. This is just to make it faster so it can keep up with the movement of the Mauler Fiend, because that has movement 8 or movement 10, and the normal Warpsmith only has movement 6. So we have all these ingredients, we have this soup. What is actually going to be made here? Well, assuming we get full buffs, on your ranged attacks, you're having +1 to wound, and you're getting 2 additional attacks for your melee. That's just from the Dark Pact. From Vashtorr, everything is getting 2 additional strength. We are pushing, like, this is already pretty sick. The Lord of Discordant gives a reroll to ones to wound, so essentially all your attacks are going through. And then you have a +1 to hit with a Warpsmith, and most of these, well, most things are hitting on 3s down to 2s. Most things are now going from strength 7, 8 to 10, and into Death Guard. This is wounding on 2s, hitting on 2s and wounding on 3s, and like AP -2, 3 damage, all shit that AJ needs for this. So the base Forge Fiend, assuming 3 entropy cannons or 3 ectoplasma cannons and armored limbs, you go from shooting on 3s to 2s. The fucking cannon goes from strength 10 to strength 12, which means AJ, you're wounding on anything but 2s. AP -3, 3 damage with the blast keyword. That is a dead Plague Marine per failed roll, and my Plague Marines are saving on 6-ups, which is just fucking disgusting. And then the shooting unit. The shooting unit, I'm doing air quotes right now, has 4 melee attacks, 2 hitting on 2s, and strength 8, which means you're wounding on 3s. It's pretty fucking gross. The Mauler Fiend, the melee one, in my hubris and in my excitement, I don't know if you can have the Mauler Fiend Fist and the Lasher Tendrils, or if those are the same thing, but these things get fucking... Look at the Mauler Fiend Fist. It's 8 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 16, so you're wounding on 3s against knights, AP -2, D6 +1 damage. What the fuck is this? Oh, and I forgot to mention for the Forge Fiend, assuming all of this, we're still getting rerolls to 1s, and we're having a +1 to wound. This Mauler Fiend is wounding on 2s against knights with the fists. Like, that's fucking crazy. The Venom Crawler, which is what AJ is probably the most interested in. Its Executioner cannon goes to 2, hitting on 2, strength 8, so it's wounding on 3s against Plague Marines. And Death Shroud too. AP -1, damage 2. Every failed save is a dead Plague Marine. But that's Soul Flayer Tendrils, because every time this kills a unit, you add 1 to the attacks characteristics of this model. So we have, starting off turn 1, or round 1, whatever you want to call it, 8 attacks, wounding on 2s, 8 strength. So we are wounding Plague Marines on 3. EP -1, 2 damage, and every time you kill a little squad, you're getting additional attacks. So this just buffs up these demon engines to be something really fucking beefy. And then the Kratos, it doesn't benefit from the Dark Pact or any of the Vashtorr stuff, but just having a Warpsmith parked by this makes all of the attacks go from hitting on threes to hitting on twos. And the Kratos for this list, I think, is really modular because you have so much big damage coming from the Forge Fiend that you can really like focus the Kratos. Like, there's an argument that you almost don't need the main battle cannon on this, and you can do something that's more focused on like a bunch of attacks. So that's why I have the heavy bolters on here and the auto cannons because it's strength 9, heavy bolter strength 5. So yeah, you're still hitting on fives, but for wounding, that's down back down to fours. It's AP minus 1/2 damage. Against Plague Marines that don't have any ways to improve their saves or anything like that, it's really good. Like the Kratos can really be focused on like anti-infantry. So that's basically all that I have cooked up. It's a soup. You can add whatever ingredients you need, and this is my recipe. So it's a Vashtorr, 2 Lord Discordants, 2 Warpsmiths, a Cultist Mob, and 3 sets of 5 Raptors for deep strike and actually scoring and playing in the game. You have 2 Forge Fiends with 3 Ectoplasm Cannons. You have a Kratos, you have a Mauler Fiend, and a Venom Crawler. But for real, for all the demon engines, you can mix and match whatever you want. You don't even need a Kratos. That's just here for AJ, which gives you even more points to play with. If you could, you ditch the Forge Fiends and go all Maulers, you end up having more points to play with, which means more stuff to put in this list. And it's just, oh my god, I want to play CSM so badly. This list just seems really fun. So AJ, what do you think?
Okay, well, first of all, you just made Iron Warriors except with raptors, so I love it.
Okay, cool.
Uh, two, this is kind of nasty.
It is kind of nasty, dude. It stacks so much, and like the big down, maybe the big downside for the is for the +2 strength for everything is going to be near Vashtorr, but that's just where like that's like your spearhead. Vashtorr 2 Mauler Fiends, you just charge in because Vashtorr also hits really hard too. Like Vashtorr's profile, he's dealing damage. What's he got over here? I apologize for the like Vashtor's got, just his hammer. It's 6 attacks, hitting on twos, strength 14, AP minus 3, 3 damage. He just hits hard too. And the key components of this recipe all have a feel no pain, all have lone op. They're not going to get shot off the board for quite a while. So in like some lists that just kind of like their token pieces kind of die pretty quick, the key components of this recipe stay on that board, and that's why I like this. And it's a fast list too. Most of these things are movement 12, movement 14. Um, so this is kind of like keeps in the theme of you wanting to move fast with your Night Lords.
Fair enough. This is but still a very heavy list, and I kind of like that. I will say, like you mentioned about how the Kratos battle tank maybe doesn't have the best shooting. I don't know. Have you looked at the data sheet for the Kratos or no?
No, 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 no. I don't think I said it had the bad shooting. I just said that there's an argument to be made that you don't even need to take that battle cannon and you can pick one of the different ones because it's all hitting on threes, and it's all being brought down to twos, so everything is going through. That's what I meant.
That's
That's what
fair.
I meant to say
Okay,
at least.
okay, okay. Well, maybe I just misheard.
No,
Because I
you're
was gonna
okay.
say that like it has two different shooting like characteristics, and one of them is literally D6 + 3
Yeah, I'm looking at the
for
the
this attack.
yeah
So
the
you're getting
HE.
a lot of
Yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
gross.
yeah.
Oh, and
And
it's got
again,
the
why I kind
blast
of
keyword too. That damn. That into a
yeah.
squad
See
of
again,
Plague
why I
Marines, they're fucking
wanted
gone, bro.
right. And say what you will about legend stuff, because I will say yes, legends can be a little wonky to use
Oh, I forgot
because
to go on that
just
spiel. I was gonna be like, real friends let you play with Legends units.
it's not even that real friends like won't let you play with legends units, though real friends will let you play with legends unit. It just means though is that what you see for the legends units is what you get no matter what happens.
And the
Ergo,
Kratos is a pretty good fucking Legends unit.
yeah, and though the Kratos tank is a great legends unit, or maybe not a great legends unit, but it's a very good legends unit right now. That is right now though. We will see how that turns out when the next edition is dropped.
What do you mean?
Well, because if you didn't know, and for viewers who don't know, Legends units do not get updated.
Well, yeah. So why would it change?
Well, who knows what the next edition's gonna bring?
They don't change Legends units.
Yeah, they don't change the Legends unit, but we'll see if it's like actually good. Like how it like fares up in the next edition,
Ah, got you, got
like
you,
compared to like how
got
everything
you,
else gets
got you.
changed.
Okay, that's true. Well, we got like a year and a half for that still.
That's true.
All right, you got a year and a half to go buy all this stuff, AJ.
I'm buying it anyways for Horus Heresy, because Horus Heresy is Horus Heresy fun.
All right. Well, that has been my Lord Discordant soup. Thank you guys for letting me share my recipe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.